If you don't like me going to the nightclub, then divorce me. My wife laughed with her friends, mocking my job in front of everyone. I stayed silent. Now she is desperate and homeless, begging me while I finally live in peace. It was a Saturday afternoon in Denver, and our backyard smelled of smoked brisket, cheap sunscreen, and betrayal. Sarah, my wife of 7 years, was standing by the cooler, presiding over the gathering with a red plastic cup and a tongue too loose for the occasion. Our friends were scattered across the lawn, laughing, drinking beer, tossing beanbags. I was midway through a conversation with Amanda, her old friend turned occasional antagonist, when I heard it. Sarah's voice cutting through the hum of conversations. Oh, please. Jacob never takes risks. He's happy with his little cubicle job, pushing emails like it's still 2005. People laughed. Amanda's head turned toward her. Seriously, she said, half laughing, but her eyes sharpened. Then, give him to me. I would take him with that salary. Just like that, suddenly, the atmosphere changed. The laughter stopped, forks paused, conversations faded, and all eyes turned toward the husband with the little cubicle job. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I just looked at Sarah across the patio. Our gazes met, hers still lit up by amusement. Was that supposed to be funny? Her smile wavered. A wave of discomfort passed through the crowd. Amanda raised her drink slowly with arched eyebrows. Check, Sarah said with dismissive contempt. Don't be so sensitive. It was a joke, a joke. I repeated, walking toward her, each step dragging the weight of the years. Tell me, what part was funny? The part where you lied about loving my ambition, or the part where you try to impress your friends by tearing me down? Are you exaggerating? She hissed, now lower. Don't do this in front of people. Oh no. You already did this in front of people. I'm just responding. Amanda took a strategic step back, joining the semicircle of silent guests pretending to check their phones or drink. Everyone knew this wasn't just a marital spat. It was something breaking into pieces. Sarah tried to laugh again. Come on, honey. It was just... No, I interrupted. It was clarity wrapped in sarcasm. And now everyone has seen it. The silence that followed was absolute. I walked away slow and steady, hearing nothing but the soft crunch of grass under my shoes and the sound of Sarah's illusion collapsing. Back inside the house later, the walls of our minimalist home felt colder. Our space, once shared with comfort, had become something sterile. I sat on the sofa, my hands still shaking slightly, not from rage, but from realization. I wasn't angry about the joke. I was angry because it wasn't a joke. I make over $200,000 a year managing risk systems for an energy company without a flashy title, sure, but a stable, respected, and incredibly secure job. The kind of job that builds a life, and apparently the kind of life Sarah despises. Later that night, the house was too quiet. The kind of silence that doesn't rest. It waits, watches. I heard the click of the bathroom cabinet, the buzz of her electric toothbrush, the soft tap of Sarah's footsteps on the wooden floor, as if they no longer belonged to her. I was at the kitchen island with the dishwasher humming behind me. A half-drunk glass of wine remained untouched. I had poured it out of habit, not desire. She came out of the hallway wrapped in her robe, her hair up in that bun she used to wear when studying late in college, when we still shared jokes that weren't at the other's expense. I didn't know I married a comedian, I said dryly, without looking up from the untouched glass. Her sigh hit the air like a rehearsed script. Check, we're still on this. I turned. We never got off this. She rubbed her temple, as if she were the overwhelmed one. It was a joke. No, I said. It was a billboard with flashing lights and your name on it. God, she muttered, turning around. You're so sensitive lately. I followed her to the living room. I'm the sensitive one. You humiliate me in front of half our friends. Amanda counters with a better joke, and suddenly I'm the one exaggerating. Sarah flopped onto the sofa and crossed her arms, rolling her eyes. She was flirting. Amanda always does that. Really, you're going to sit here and act like you didn't love it. I didn't ask to be defended. I asked for respect. That word respect floated in the air between us like smoke. She shifted uncomfortably, and for the first time tonight, I saw something flicker in her expression. Not guilt, not remorse, just discomfort like you feel when a mirror finally shows you something you can't unsee. I'm going to bed, she said abruptly, getting up from the sofa. We both said what we had to say. No, I replied, standing firm. You said what you had to say at the party in front of everyone, and now you can't close the book just because the page makes you look bad." She didn't respond, simply disappeared down the hallway. I stood there for a long time after she left. The house around me looked, as always, perfectly organized, elegant furniture, neutral tones, but now it felt different, empty. When I finally went to bed, she was already curled on her side, back to me. Her breathing was steady. Rehearsal. I lay there with eyes open, watching the ceiling fan spin above me, feeling myself shrinking in my own life. Not because of the joke itself, but because of the way she didn't even care that it landed like a stab. I used to think we were partners. I used to believe Sarah saw me not just what I did, but who I was. The nights she encouraged me to take the job that moved us to Denver, the mornings she packed my lunch with Post-its. "You got this, and don't forget to call your mom." Now I was just convenient, easy to ridicule. The safe and boring husband, who kept the lights on and the mortgage off while she played the charming hostess. I closed my eyes and tried to sleep, but in the silence something whispered louder than any argument could have. This wasn't about the joke, it was about everything underneath. And for the first time I wondered if I had spent years building a life with someone who stopped valuing the same things I prided myself on. The following days blurred into a series of slow and silent fractures. Sarah started coming home later, not once or twice, but constantly. "Girls' night," she would say casually, keys jingling in one hand, perfume floating after her like an afterthought. Sometimes she left a plate in the sink. Sometimes her heels were by the door at angles, suggesting she had taken them off in a hurry. The first time I didn't say much. The second I asked if she was okay. By the fifth I stopped asking. I would return from work. The same little cubicle job she mocked, leave my laptop case, and notice the silence. She used to greet me with a half hug, a "how was your day?" That felt automatic, but still offered something. Now I found the living room empty, the television off, the sofa untouched, a single wine glass drying on the counter. We started moving through the house as if avoiding each other on purpose. She stayed in the bedroom, checking her phone. I retreated to the kitchen or sat outside on the back deck watching the string lights she insisted on installing last spring. They flickered softly as if trying to keep up appearances for a party that had ended long ago. And it wasn't just the time apart. It was the way things were left abandoned. Lipstick-stained mugs, a wet towel on the bathroom floor, dishes stacked by the sink instead of inside the dishwasher we bought together. She never used to do that. Sarah was meticulous. Everything had a place. Now it felt as if she were challenging the house to look messy, as if the order we had built together annoyed her. The turning point came midweek. I arrived home around 6. Her car wasn't in the driveway. I walked into the kitchen and found Chinese takeout containers scattered across the island, half-empty boxes, a missing chopstick from a pair, open soy sauce packets with dried edges. No note, no text message, nothing. And that silence didn't feel accidental. Later that night, she came in just after midnight. I was half asleep on the sofa, the television casting a muted blue light across the room. She walked past me as if I were furniture. "You're home," I said dryly. She stopped, barely looking over her shoulder. "Didn't want to wake you." "You didn't." She kept walking. I turned off the television and sat in the dark, listening to the distant sound of her heels clicking down the hallway and the bathroom door closing behind her. Our home used to be a sanctuary, a space we molded together. Pancakes early Saturday morning, shared playlists during deep cleanings, long sofa sessions watching bad TV. It had always felt like ours, but now it was mine against hers territory, neutral corners, civilized avoidance. Even the bed felt divided by an invisible line. One night, I watched her in the mirror as she got ready for sleep. She was texting someone, smiling silently at the screen. I asked, "Who is it?" She didn't even look up. "Amanda, that's all." She got into bed and turned over, the screen lighting her face, casting sharp shadows on the wall. I lay there, staring at the ceiling again, listening to the sound of my own breathing and hers overlaid behind. Two people, side by side, separated as always. That was when I started noticing things. Her phone was always face down. Notifications arrived at odd hours. Laughter came from behind closed doors, then stopped when I approached. And something inside me shifted. Not jealousy, not even anger, but clarity. I wasn't crazy, I wasn't insecure. Something was changing, and I was the only one trying to keep it still. Friday night. The sky hung low over Denver, thick with clouds, and that vibrant electricity that makes the air feel heavier than usual. I stood in our hallway staring at the front door, holding the deadbolt between my fingers. The wall clock read 10:56 at night. Sarah hadn't come home yet. Her text messages had stopped around 8. Some vague message about one more drink and don't wait up, but tonight I decided I would wait. Only I wasn't waiting in the usual way. Not curled up on the sofa hoping she would come in and smile at me like she used to. Not waiting with a different kind of coiled, tense energy inside my chest. At 11 o'clock sharp, I locked the door, the deadbolt, the chain. Then I turned off the lights and walked to the kitchen. I turned on the under-cabinet glow and poured myself a glass of water. The house was quiet, so quiet I could hear the ice shifting in the freezer. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. It was her. I let it vibrate once, twice before answering. "Hello," I said, quiet as a whisper. "Jacob, why is the door locked?" Her voice was breathless, a bit of panic, as if she hadn't expected to find herself outside her own home. "It's 11:08 I said, looking at the microwave clock. "You said you'd be home at 10. Don't be ridiculous. I didn't think you'd actually lock me out." "Then, I guess you don't know me as well as you thought." There was silence on the line. "I'm out here in heels." "Jacob, let me in. You'll figure it out," I said, and took a sip of water. "Or better yet, why don't you text Amanda? She seems to be on speed dial lately." Her voice changed. She wasn't panicked anymore. She was angry. "Are you being childish?" "No," I retorted. "I'm putting an end to it." I hung up. The house felt different in that moment, as if it belonged to me again, even if only for the night. I turned on the record player in the corner. Something soft, just enough to cut the stillness. 15 minutes passed, then 20. She called again. I let it go to voicemail. Finally, the knocking stopped. I don't know where she went, and, honestly, for the first time in a long time, I didn't care. Instead, I stood in the middle of our kitchen barefoot on the tile and breathed a silence that no longer felt heavy. It felt earned. I knew I wasn't fixing our marriage with a locked door, but I wasn't trying to. What I wanted, what I needed was to feel like I had a line she couldn't cross. Because when someone undermines you slowly, day after day, it's hard to notice the damage until the whole foundation is cracked. And that night, I decided to stop being a foundation for someone who kept building elsewhere. I went to bed alone. I slept with the door open and the hallway light off. For the first time in weeks, I didn't toss and turn, didn't rehearse arguments in my head, didn't wonder who she was texting. I simply slept, and when I woke up the next morning, the house was still quiet. Sarah wasn't there, but I was fully, and that strangely felt enough. The next morning, the house still held that eerie stillness. No heels clicking on wood, no bathroom fan humming, no Sarah. I made my coffee slowly, measuring each scoop as if it mattered. The usual Saturday aroma, warmth and toasted calm, settled over the kitchen, but it didn't reach me like it used to. The door remained locked. At 10 a.m., I found myself sitting in the corner of a quiet little coffee shop near South Pearl Street. My usual spot, one Sarah never liked. Too bland. She used to say, no energy. That was exactly why I was there. Logan slid into the seat opposite me. College friend, IT guy, divorced 3 years ago. We had stayed close, not out of proximity, but because he never told me what I wanted to hear. Only the truth. He didn't even bother saying hello. Just looked at me, then at the coffee cup in my hands, and then back at me. She's still at Amanda's. I nodded. Presumably didn't come back last night. Took a long sip of his own drink. So, are you ready to stop pretending? I raised an eyebrow. Pretending what? Logan leaned forward, both forearms resting on the table. That this is fixable, that she'll come around. That this is about a stupid joke at a barbecue. Jacob, man, you're losing respect for yourself. That hit harder than expected. I looked out the window watching a runner pass with her dog, leash taut, both perfectly synchronized. That kind of balance felt like a foreign language to me now. I don't want drama, I said after a long pause. I want peace. That's all I've ever wanted. Then, stop standing in a burning house with a hose that doesn't work, he said simply. You don't need to scream, don't need to flip tables, just need to walk out the front door. I stared at my coffee. The warmth had faded. She's changed, I said quietly. And I didn't see it coming. No, said Logan. You did see it, you just didn't want to believe it. He wasn't wrong. There had been signs long before the barbecue. Sarah's restlessness, her need for attention, the way she started rolling her eyes at the same traits she used to praise. At first I thought it was stress, then boredom, then maybe even depression, But now I realized I had been making excuses while she had been drawing escape routes. I leaned back, exhaling. I think it's over. Logan nodded slowly, not in celebration, but with quiet understanding. And now what? I'm going to do this. Right, I said. No anger, no revenge. Not throwing clothes on the lawn or screaming in the driveway. He raised an eyebrow. Are you sure? Could be cathartic. I gave a wry smile. I want a clean divorce. Half of everything. No drama, just dignity. Logan sat back. His expression softened. That sounds like you. I looked back out the window. Clouds were starting to break. Lights spilling onto the sidewalk in patches. I just need someone who knows how to make that happen, I said. I know someone, he said, reaching for his phone. Clarissa Keir, smart, quiet, no nonsense. Help me with mine. She'll keep it fair, but she doesn't miss a beat. I nodded. Good. Logan hesitated, then added, she'll also ask why you're so calm. Why now? Be ready for that. I've had enough chaos, I said. I want the rest of my life to feel like this coffee shop. Quiet, uncomplicated. He smiled. You might just get that. We sat there a while longer talking about unimportant things. Baseball, traffic, an upcoming tech conference I didn't even care about, but I appreciated the normalcy. When we got up to leave, Logan patted my shoulder. Just remember, he said, you're not choosing failure, you're choosing freedom. There's a difference. I watched him walk away, his stride easy, determined. And as I stepped out into the Denver sunlight, I realized something strange. I wasn't scared anymore. The hard part wasn't leaving Sarah, it was finally accepting she had already left me long before last night. Her office smelled faintly of eucalyptus and coffee. Minimalist, like a hotel lobby meant to calm nerves without asking too many questions. Clarissa Keir sat across from me, legs crossed, well-dressed, notepad open. She didn't smile much, but there was something steady in her presence, a stillness that made it easier to breathe. Never sat across from a divorce lawyer before. She looked at the form I had filled out. 7 years of marriage, no kids, one property in both names, no prenup. I nodded. Bought the house at 2 years, everything shared. She wanted it that way. Clarissa tapped the end of her pen against her chin. And you want a clean break? You said 50/50. No games, no revenge. That surprised her. Just a flicker, but I caught it. Nobody comes in here wanting just that, she said softly. Usually they want blood or absolution. Sure you're not hiding a hammer behind your back? I'm not, I said. Simply want to move on, not burn the house down. Clarissa leaned back slightly, considering me. Let me guess. Spent the last few months trying to fix something you didn't break until one day realized your silence wasn't saving it. It was enabling it. I blinked. She wasn't wrong. She checked out. I admitted. I just stopped holding the door open. Clarissa started taking notes. All right, here's how this works. We start by filing the petition. Keep language neutral. Colorado is a no-fault state. Irreconcilable differences will suffice. We divide assets by agreement. Or if necessary, mediation, no trial. If she cooperates, no trial. If she's bitter, maybe a hearing, but from what I'm hearing, she's not heartbroken, just inconvenienced. That stung more than expected. I clasped hands on the table. Haven't told anyone yet. Clarissa looked up. Do you want to? Doubt it, eventually, but not now. Want papers ready first. Quiet. Controlled. She nodded. I'll get ball rolling today. We'll notify her within the week. There was the beginning of an end. Strangely, didn't feel like failure. Felt like opening a window after sitting too long in a sealed room. Before leaving, she handed me a thin folder. Here's what to expect. Finances, communication, boundaries, transition tips. Call me if anything escalates. But Jacob, I looked up. Be prepared for her to switch gears once she knows you're serious. Some people fight harder when they realize the war is already over. I thanked her and left. Sun was intense, bouncing off office windows, as if trying to startle me awake. For long moments stood there with folder in hand, watching cars pass as if trying to remember how to participate in world again. Was strange how something so small as signature could signal collapse of years. But maybe that was all marriage was an end. Choices on paper, dressed in emotion. While walking back to car, didn't feel triumphant, didn't feel broken, felt still, as if something finally stopped spinning. TV was on, low volume hum coming from living room, but wasn't watching it. Had come home early, earlier than usual, and for once didn't announce entry. That was when heard her voice muffled, but close. Sarah was in bedroom. Door was almost closed. Wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but when someone uses your name like piece on chessboard, instinct takes over. Telling you he's completely checked out. Come home late. Leave stuff everywhere, and he just says nothing. Pause. Then sharper. No, Gina, don't feel bad. Don't know what it's like living with someone who thinks being quiet is same as being strong. Gina, her sister stepped back, staying out of hallway line of sight. He's not gonna file, said Sarah laughing lightly. Jacob too proud, or maybe too passive. Either way, fine. Give him few more weeks, maybe another push. He'll do it eventually. Another pause. Just needed to look mutual. That's trick. If he files first, don't look like one who gave up. I froze. Door wasn't even fully closed. Hadn't bothered hiding conversation. That just told me everything about how little she feared being caught, or how sure she was I wouldn't do anything about it. Anyway, she added, he still thinks this is just rough patch. Poor guy? Phone call ended shortly after. She came out few minutes later. Eyes flickered to sofa, surprised to see me sitting there. Didn't move. Neither did she. Home early. Said in neutral tone. Nodded without offering more. She didn't ask anything else, just walked to kitchen, opened fridge, and pretended nothing happened. Later that night, phone vibrated with call from unknown number. Let it ring, stared at it like challenge. Then answered, Jacob, it's Gina, Sarah's sister. Hadn't spoken to Gina in months. Voice sounded tense. Look, know this is weird. Continued. But can we talk? Just two of us. Pause. Think deserve hear something in person. Swallowed. Okay. When? Tomorrow. Said, somewhere quiet. Gilmore's coffee shop was on quiet corner. Type of place where time seemed to slow down. Had passed by 100 times, without thinking twice. Now felt like neutral ground. Place far enough from life had built so truth could breathe. Gina was already there. Looked different than remembered. No makeup, hoodie sleeves pulled over hands. Eyes hadn't slept much. Offered slight smile when entered, but no warmth behind it, just gravity. Thanks for coming, said as slid into booth. Nodded, said bad something tell me. She looked around almost nervously, then leaned in. Wouldn't be doing this if hadn't heard what heard other day. Mean Sarah's phone call? Said watching reaction. She blinked. So no. Caught part of it. Figured was more. Gina nodded slowly, almost relieved. Then voice dropped. Jacob. Sarah not confused. Not lost. She planning this. Wants leave, but doesn't want look like villain. Said something like needed me file first. Gina grimaced. Worse than that. Been telling people emotionally abandoned, cold, distant, neglectful. Her way setting stage. Clenched jaw, and yet, she won staying out till midnight. Trying provoke you, said Gina, voice steady. Now if explode, gets narrative. If leave, gains sympathy. But if stay quiet, keeps control. Leaned back against seat, words hitting harder than expected. Why telling me this? Gina looked down, tracing rim coffee cup with finger. Why seen her do this before? Not exactly like this, but close enough. Likes be admired. Needs it. And when things get too ordinary, rewrite script. To make herself protagonist, said bitterly. Told me about guy, added Gina hesitating. Some investor met at event. Don't know if serious, but talks like has next move lined up. Bitter laugh escaped me. Of course does. Not saying this hurt you, continued Gina. Just couldn't stand by watch her play victim while you get stabbed in back. Good man, Jacob. Too good use like this. Looked out window. Rain started tapping against glass, soft, steady, like clock, counting down. Ever mention what wanted from all this? Asked quietly. Gina hesitated. Wants house, half retirement savings, maybe more, if can paint you as one who gave up. And if don't give her that narrative, we'll improvise, said Gina. But won't expect you fight back. Counting on you be calm, quiet one. Nodded, absorbing full weight what heard. For months been playing defense, waiting, hoping Sarah wake up remember life built. But never been about reconciliation. Been about strategy. Done more than enough, told Gina. Thanks. She nodded slightly, then pushed napkin toward me. On it scrawled name. Friend mine works private investigation. If ever need proof. Stared at napkin, then folded put jacket pocket. As Rose leave, Gina reached out touched arm gently. Whatever do next, make sure on your terms. Outside, rain picked up. Walk car slowly. City sounds muffled under drizzle. In that stillness, something inside settled. Not peace. Not yet, but certainty. She wanted performance. Instead gonna get truth, and this time be one writing script. Clarissa barely looked up when entered. Writing, glasses low on nose, half sandwich pushed aside on napkin. Stood front desk moment longer than necessary till noticed shift energy. When did, leaned back slowly gave long appraising look. Something changed, said. Nodded. Want everything. She didn't blink, didn't ask why, just clasped hands waited me explain. Been playing me, said voice low but steady. Trying provoke divorce, so can claim assets. How sympathy. Building narrative where look like one who quit. Clarissa tilted head, then reached legal pad. Tell everything no. Laid out step. What heard, Gina's confession, calculated nights, silence, manipulation disguised attachment. Wants land feet, said. But not gonna let burn house call rescue. Clarissa already scribbling notes. Good, then adjust. Mutual dissolution off table. From now on prepare resistance. Don't want circus, said. But done silence. Clarissa nodded. Then go tactical. Start documenting everything. When leaves, what time comes home. Anything says contradicts claims. If access shared bank accounts, screenshot unusual expenses. Don't confront, don't alert, just gather. Slid thin folder across desk. Hear what qualifies admissible evidence. Start tonight. Took folder, weight heavier than pages inside. Something else, added pulling napkin jacket pocket. Put on desk. Gina's recommendation. Clarissa scanned, then nodded satisfied. Private investigator, said, need proof. Will have. Confirmed. And not just for court, for clarity. Sometimes seeing whole truth only way stop wondering if imagining. Leaned back chair exhaled. For so long been trying keep things civilized, neat, as if quiet ending hurt less. But Sarah hadn't wanted quiet, wanted cover. Wouldn't give that anymore. Clarissa's voice softened. Understand this could get ugly? Nodded. So be it. Won't raise voice. Won't humiliate, but won't let rewrite story while still in it. She smiled slightly. That right kind ruthless. Left office with more than plan. Left with direction. Home started small. Note on phone timestamps. Photos mess left behind. Wine glasses, receipts, same pattern repeated. Each piece not much alone, but together told story. She hoped too tired document. That night, Sarah came home, 12:13 a.m. Heels echoed louder than usual. Smelled mint and perfume not hers. Stopped when saw me dining table, laptop open, folder beside. Up late, said cautiously. Didn't look up. Yeah. She stood second longer, waiting reaction never came. Then turned walk down hall. And as door closed behind, wrote entry. 12:13 a.m. Returned home no explanation, minimal interaction, noticeable discomfort seeing files. Didn't feel angry, felt ready because she wanted me passive, predictable, silent, but wasn't silent anymore and no intention letting win by default. Happened Friday, kind night city buzzes people looking escape. Sarah left 7 p.m., dressed fancier than usual. Not wordwear, just casual. Don't wait up. Didn't. Instead, waited till 11:52 p.m. Then picked phone called. Answered third ring, bass distant club thumping background. Hey. Shouted over noise, laughter rippling edge voice. It's me, said calmly. Pause, then slurred amusement. Wow, didn't expect call before bed. What up, daddy babysitter? Ignored. With Amanda again? She laughed. Sure, let call that. Don't like, Jacob. Simple solution. Divorce yourself. Smiled. Couldn't see, but first real smile worn weeks. Already did, said. Silence. Could hear music behind, but said nothing. Papers filed yesterday. Will notify Monday, added. Voice level. Oh, and be clear, no, won't keep house. Music didn't stop, but everything else did. Joking, said. Finally, not. Instant passed, then hung up. Didn't move, didn't flinch. 12:16 a.m., front door burst open. Heels hit floor sharp staccato. Purse crashed counter. Didn't look up couch. Filed divorce, spat. Looked her. Why? Because went out friends. Because gave chances. Said standing slowly. And used all prove already gone. Try and get attention. Laughed once dry. Try and get leverage. She froze. Eyes narrowed. Think don't know calls, setups? Gina came see me. Now really froze. Spoke Gina. Told plan. Push, provoke, let quits so leave clean. Sarah stepped back as words hit chest. Wasn't like that, whispered. Don't lie. Not now. Walked dining table, pulled folder under stack receipts. Slammed. Evidence said. Every night came late. Every contradiction preparing exit. Just decided stop holding door. Tears pooled eyes, but seen performance too many times. Wasn't cold, just wasn't fooled. Didn't mean hurt, said now softer. Just lost. Didn't answer. We're calculating. And now cornered. Took shaky step forward. Can talk. Mean real talk. Tilted head. Tried talk. Laughed. Mocked front friends. Disappeared nights. Gave up before did. Voice cracked. Didn't think really leave. Didn't think finally see you. Said. And had seen. Not version Sarah married. But one standing there now. Unsure how plans slipped hands. Walked past calmly. No yelling. No final blow. Just sentence never expected here. Staying Logan's till finalized. Jacob wait. Open door. Don't worry. Have plenty time explain version story whoever left believe. Then left and first time month's night didn't feel heavy, felt honest. 3 months later. Ocean wakes before sun. Now lives small beach house hidden just outside Lincoln City, Oregon. Not grand, just white siding. Wind-whipped grass windows opening sound waves instead traffic. Most mornings make coffee barefoot. Floor cold feet, let breeze in while work remotely. Kept job, one Sarah mocked. Turns out little safe, cubicle job, came flexible hours boss really cared well-being. Funny how much brighter life feels when nobody draining air longs. Made new friends here, neighbors wave without pretending. Host dinners every few weeks. Grilled salmon, mismatched plates, laughter reaching outside. And rediscovered something thought lost forever. Stillness. No solitude. Stillness. Their difference. One night, returning farmer's market, phone vibrated. Logan sent screenshot social post. Sarah tagged some party looking tired. Someone comments mentioned sleeping couches after situation boyfriend went wrong. No house, no porch, no second chapter. Just scattered pieces story, tried rewrite. Stared screen moment. Not angry, not smug, just calm. Poetic justice doesn't always arrive making noise. Sometimes appears life, build once nobody looking. Sometimes looks peace. And as tide rolled behind, realized never broke me. Freed me. That was in my story. Still think Gina, how could stayed quiet, let sister plan unfold, but instead chose warn me. Risked family tell truth. Would done same place.